Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a place that needs no introduction, yet deserves every one single time. A circuit deep in glory, heartbreak, and the kind of motoring mythology that would make even the bravest driver swallow hard behind the wheel. LeMANS, Circuit de la Sarthe, round 8 of the Aussie Sim Racing Championship. And oh, haven't we got a beautiful proceedings tonight. The GT3 brigade rolls out into this hallowed ribbon of tarmac. A circuit that stretches on and on like a story from your grandfather never quite finished telling. Each straight carries a memory. Each corner whispers the name of legends long past. And every lap, well, it's a little slice of history replayed at full throttle. Down the Mulsanne straight, they'll thunder along as if they're trying to outrun their own nerves. And believe me, there will be a few wide knuckles on those steering wheels. Then the heavy on the anchors in the Mulsanne corner, where many a dream has gone sailing into the gravel, never to be seen again. Through Indianapolis, Arnage, they'll dance that delicate dance between courage and calamity. And into the Porsche curves, yes, the great equalizer, a place where the brave find time and the overbrave find the walls. It's long, it's demanding, it's unforgiving, and it's absolutely dead set magnificent. So settle in, grab a cuppa, raise the volume, and let LeMANS work its magic, because tonight these GT3 drivers won't just be racing each other, they'll be taking on a legend that's bigger than all of us. This is round 8. This is Aussie Sim Racing, and this is Sensational TV, where motorsport comes alive.
Oh, yes, indeedy, ladies and gentlemen, grid girls and gaming gorillas. Welcome to the Aussie Sim Racing GT3 Championship. It's round 8, live from the legendary Cirque de la Sarthe, or otherwise known as LeMANS. The broadcasting here at the blistering broadband speeds you can almost trust. This is also Sensational TV, the undisputable home of Australian sim racing broadcasting excellence, where the racing is tight, the tempers are tighter, and the only thing longer than the Mulsanne Straight is the list of excuses these blokes are going to give after turn 1. Tonight, these GT3 gladiators will be flinging their carbon-clad missiles down the straight like a runaway shopping trolley with a rocket strapped to the back. Brakes begging for mercy, tyres screaming louder than a Karen denied a refund, and strategies more questionable than pineapple on pizza. Joining me tonight, as always, in the comm box, the Sultan of Split Times. That's not the right one. Get rid of that. Sultan of Split Times, the Baron of Brake Bias, the Michelangelo of misjudged dive bombs. It's Zach O'Reilly, everyone. Give him a clap into the commentary box. I'll tell you what, mate, it's a long outlap tonight, and it's going to be it looks as if the sun is setting there in France as well. It's going to be a bit of a dark one out there on the road.
Yeah, it's as long and as dark as the time dissipating between you and your future hopeful fiancé saying yes when you're on your knee proposing. I'll give you the hot tip. And these guys tonight definitely in for a long one. Night racing here, I would anticipate, at Circuit de la Sarthe, and it's a pleasure to be alongside the man himself that... look, his hair has seen more reboots than a Star Wars franchise, and I'll tell you what, the last barber that Chris Munro visited triggered a formal apology from the Hairdressers Association, because the fringe that he had caused a feedback loop that even the microphones were confused about. I'll tell you what, but pleasure to have you here tonight, Christopher Munro in the box. But this is where we are. We are at the famous Circuit de la Sarthe, the 24-hour of Le Mans. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, with 13.5 kilometres of racetrack in front of these guys, it is a long outlap. But that means the qualifying lap times are going to be very, very precious. There's only about 5 laps they're going to get with the 20-minute session coming their way for qualifying to set a good one. And then we have got a 60-minute full-on dash to conquer this mighty French circuit, Christopher.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it as well. It's a test of endurance, this this circuit as well. Even though it's only 60 minutes, it's going to feel like a hell of a lot longer once these guys finally get round their almost 4-minute outlap. It looks as if this is your man out there in command at the moment. Jake DeBetter is the first man out on circuit. Or is he? No, there's one more car up in front there. It is a lonely Mercedes-Benz. Let's see who it might be. I've got a sneaking suspicion it's this man here, Luke Fallon. Here he goes, coming across the start-finish line now. Let's go for a hot lap around the world-famous Circuit de la Sarthe.
And it's a fantastic run into turn one. It's a quick dart into the right-hander. Then you've got to get heavy on the anchors. Use all the extra curb you can and the insides for all these. Those little ripple strips do give you some extra grip. Darting out of turns the 3 we go. Turn 4 and turn 5 is also technical because you've got to set this corner up right now to get yourself set for the left-hander, which comes your way. If you don't get that one right, you will dead set be in for a long night, ladies and gentlemen. But then it's the final right-hander onto the famous Mulsanne straight, part 1 basically. Accelerator pedal to the max. 5th gear at the moment here for the smooth criminal himself, Luke Fallon, as he fires his way down this beautiful historic racetrack. And he's just not even going to go for a hot lap here, Chris. He's just going to start weaving the tyres and warm them up because he knows that with these 2 heavy braking zones coming his way, 1 chicane and then a second, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. But nonetheless, what better place to ride on board with a man who is second in the championship but could be first after tonight. Into the first chicane he goes, flicks it right, flicks it left, out the other side he goes, and he's just pulled out of that one quicker than he usually does on a Sunday night, I've been told, and he's just going to let himself go and start warming up those tyres. So we're going to have to go for another one here with Luke Fallon at some stage, but boy oh boy, this is a racetrack to remember, and it's one that you will never forget if you become victorious. Yeah,
I was having a few little practice laps around there the other night, actually, but I'll tell you what, I have never set foot on the old Circuit de la Sarthe in any sort of racing car, so I was just a moving speed bump for about the 10 minutes that I was out there. Pulled it into the pits and called it a day after I took out poor old, who was it? Cairns, Brad Cairns there in the Lamborghini. Yeah, we had a coming together down at turn, I think it's 14, the one at the end of the Mulsanne straight. I was quite embarrassed and just pulled it back to the pits and thought, you know what, leave this lapping business to the experts.
Well, I'll tell you what, with the length of the circuit, 13.5 kilometres, on these tyres, you've literally only got 1.5 laps of good compound underneath you. So I don't blame these boys for just starting to cycle themselves in to warm up something. And that's probably something you could have thought about there, Chris, when you were fanging around there for the 10 minutes or e.g. 2 laps before you took out the second capital of Queensland in FNQ.
Yeah, absolutely wiped him out. But, look, we're having force feedback dramas as well, so there was a few excuses to be thrown there.
Whip out the old filing cabinet of excuses. It's 400 metres long in the Munro household between himself and his brother. I'll give you the hot tip.
Yeah, that's right. Well, speaking of which, he's going all right. There he is there, just in the foreground. In the BMW today. He was 3rd fastest in practice throughout the week, so he's in his eyes he's quickest overall, so he just needs a little bit of a sniff and he will take that all the way to the bank like I don't know, like a little Jack Russell with the newspaper, just absolutely off to the races, this bloke.
Yeah, well, he's had some good performances, and he's also had the biggest Osama bin Laden moment of the year at Sandown. Wish we could get a replay of that up, because that was something to behold there. We saw the first one, and then the second one was more magnificent. And I'll tell you what, in the dead set flipping department, Ray Rabs Warren would be absolutely proud of that man, because he pirouetted around and around. Let's not hope for that same fortune for him tonight. But the smooth criminal here is, we just saw him do some warm-up laps, so he's starting to cycle in for his first go, and I reckon by this time of the lap he's just starting to get himself a little bit nervous of this track in front of him. So we're going to go on board with him and go for a full hot lap of this beautiful Le Mans circuit here. It's beautiful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Into the sunset we go, and I'm telling you right now, this is the place to be. So let's go on board and let's see how he does it. So enters turn 1. Beautifully in there, gets it beautifully pointed in and ready to rock and roll. Now he's just going to get himself through the turns 2 and 3 section, and then he's coming into the Descente de la Chapelle section. Will be there very soon for him. He's just got to get himself through this one, which is Tetra Rouge. It's beautiful, beautiful driving is Luke Fallon, just nailing those apexes. Then it's the Virage Tetra Rouge. There was a do in front of that, ladies and gentlemen. I've mispronounced, but don't worry about that. Curbe de Entres up there is flying through now onto the Mulsanne Straight, as we like to call it. So many corner names on this one, all in French, ladies and gentlemen, but Luke Fallon here at the moment is really, really pushing it to the limit. 6th gear at the moment. He's got an oil pressure low system on his dash, but don't worry, that's just a glitch in the iRacing matrix there for him. But he's about to enter a braking zone right about now. He'll put on the brakes, gets in, beautiful stuff. Into the first chicane, the first ralentisseur is first name of this circuit. Gets himself out the other side, just using every single bit of track limits he possibly can. Now it's a second run down the Mulsanne Straight once again. And then we've got the second ralentisseur coming up his way, which will be a left to a right chicane nonetheless. And he's got to get himself set for this one, because you've got plenty of time to think about how you go about it and how you approach it. Where's your braking marker? Is it going to be at the 150 board? It's going to be at the 100, straight in. The witch's hat's on there. Navigates that beautifully. Inside, using all the track limits he possibly can. Out the other side he goes. Just uses a bit at the exit curb. Once more. Then the Courbet de Honduras is for this little tight right-hander coming his way. And then we've got the Virage de Mulsanne, which is a heavy, heavy braking zone approaching here. Getting up to 285, nearly 90 kilometres an hour in a GT3 car with all that downforce here. He's just been a bit cautious coming into the braking zone as well. As we've seen, not full limitations, but just trying to get that banker lap in at the moment, because he can see that the Beer Man has taken P1 with a 355.614 for him. Now we're approaching the Curve de Golf. And do you know what golf stands for? Old times, ladies and gentlemen. It means gentlemen's only, ladies forbidden. That is what golf stands for in the back end. But under the Toyota Hybrid overpass we go, straight down in. Then we've got the S's of Indianapolis in Australian language, as we would say. Just nails that braking zone. Full commitment into this one. It has been a massive, massive attrition for cars and winners coming to grinners in the end of it in real life stuff. Then we've got Virage coming our way. Right-hander, straight in, out the other side, beautiful stuff. Gets the car onto the bunda, but out the other side nicely here does Luke Fallon go. He set a purple first and third microsector. The second sectors are down at the moment. They're yellows at this point in time. Then we've got the Porsche curve coming up, which is a very, very, very hairy place to go once those tyres start to die off. Again, you've got to nail that apex, point it in nicely. That AMG Mercedes just beautifully apexing. Then he comes out the other side through DuPont. And now he's got the S's coming his way. Very, very technical section of the circuit too. You've got to nail it, sort of like Suzuka, in a way, shape or form, to get the car out the other side cleanly. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. And then Corvette curve we go. This is another place where he wants to get himself up, but he's just let off the gas there as well. Mid-corner, doesn't need to. He's thinking about it. In fact, he's going into the pits. No, he's not. He's thinking about it. Straight into the last two curves. The Virage circuit, and then back out he goes onto the racing line, comes out the other side, full tank slaps it, and what is Luke Fallon going to do as he crosses the line? I don't think it's going to get a time, because that was a track cut there. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, this man is under pressure, Christopher.
He certainly is, but meanwhile, here he is just cutting through the traffic there as well. The Duff Man, who is provisionally on pole, and as I say that, Kobe Marshall comes across the line with the 354.71. And that will be enough, ladies and gentlemen, to sit on the top end of this timing tower right now. But there's still about 7 minutes to go. Ferber gets himself up there. Liam Brooks, Bradley Cairns, the man in the Lambo, gets himself up there off the second row provisionally as well. So plenty of time to come. But as we've said, and as you've seen on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, this is a long lap, almost 4 minutes to get around. So that only equates to 1-2 more laps maximum, really, from this point in. So, and with 38 turns or something ridiculous on this circuit, there's plenty of opportunity to mess it up and give up the ghost. So the pressure just mounts as you get further and further into this circuit. And if you've got that delta in the green as well, it can play havoc on your mind, ladies and gentlemen. I call it the green fear. And you might see a bit of that happening tonight, Zach O'Reilly.
Yeah, the green fear does set in for sure. But we've got to see what these boys can do. They've timed it beautifully here. They're going to come out with at least 2 minutes to go. So they've got 1 and a bit laps to maintain their lead position. But at the moment, it's Kobe Marshall, who is dead set taking the chockies here at the moment by only 2.5 tenths of a second over the Beer Man, who did put on a good show at Sandown last time around. He was right up there. But this man, the Far North Queensland capital in Cairns, is 100% on like Donkey Kong. 4th place for him. Really, really driving beautifully. The only Lamborghini in the whole championship standings here is this man. He's a Lone Ranger, and he doesn't care about that because I'll tell you what, with this man underneath his cockpit, he is a feisty customer, knows how to get inside a top 10 and can be a sneaky top 5 if he wants to. But riding here with Brooks at this point in the Porsche, it is death, I've heard, in a Porsche around this circuit, and he's doing an absolute masterclass here. He's got 5 tenths of a second between himself and P1 with Marshall, but the Porsche around those Corvette curbs and the S's at the back end is nightmare when you come to a dead tyre situation. So we've got to look out for how the Porsches do compatriate themselves into a performing gap in front of the racing strategy there, Christopher Munro. But for the rest of the racing tonight, 60 minutes our way, we're only going to get, what is that? It's about 20, maybe 19 laps of this circuit. So every microsecond counts, every millisecond counts, and every microsector here in qualifying is going to set you up for a big one. But with only 15 people setting a time here, Chris, it is unbelievable. We've got 30 cars on the grid, and only 15 people have managed to get through without a track car.
Yeah, almost 10 sitting there just waiting to get around this circuit in a time that counts, the time that matters, that isn't invalidated. So we've got a few there around the back end. We've got Potter, Georgeson, Rogers, even Luke Fallon now just up on the push, though. You can see him just clattering across the curbs there down the back end of this circuit. He'll be on for a charge here because his battle partner, Dan Smith, is gallivanting around the land of the rising sun, so I'm told. So half his luck, having a good time out there. The last thing he'll be thinking about is Circuit de la Sarthe. He possibly going visiting Tsukuba and other amazing circuits they have there. But here he comes across the line now, Luke Fallon. He's gone purple in 3-4 of those sectors as well. Let's see what he stops the clock at. 3:53 dead, 1.7 seconds clear of Kobe Marshall there in second position. That is going to take some beating.
That is a barnstormer of a lap, a 3-minute 53 around here in a GT3 car in iRacing. Boy, oh boy. And the biggest missing agent of tonight is Agent Smith. He is not here. He is down in Japan on holiday. Doesn't care about the sim racing stuff. He'll be right back here once the holiday is over. But Luke Fallon could get himself further closer to him in the championship. So a massive, massive opening statement there for Luke Fallon as he comes across the line, and he is done. So that is a 3:53 for him. But at the moment, the chef, who put on a masterclass at Sandown in that Porsche, really, really struggling here for pace. 3:57, 4.4 seconds off the lead pack of this race at this point in time. He is really going to struggle in that Porsche when it comes to the dying stages. But a little bit of inside information. The fuel is at 87% tonight. Means, Christopher, there is going to be some dead set fuel stop strategies. Who's got the best fuel mileage? Who can LICO, so to speak, lift and coast best will be the one to come out. And we've seen some beautiful races here. It's either close as you want to be, or it's so far apart between the victors here in this race at Circuit de la Sarthe. And hopefully we've got the first option there in this race coming our way.
Yeah, I think we're going to get, going to get a bit of everything here. As a couple of races that I have called on this circuit, you do get some spread outage, if you will. But also you get these nice little leapfrog battles because of the Mulsanne Straight. It's so long, and it invites the suck, ladies and gentlemen. So you might get a bit of suck one lap, but then you get the reverse suck the lap after, and you'll just find yourself playing a little bit of a leapfrog game, or a DRS train, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gentlemen, in the motorsport department. But it will be exciting nonetheless. But all these guys fairly evenly spread, to be fair. Over a 4-minute distance, a 1.7 second gap is flattering. So you'll find on a 1 minute 30 circuit that that gap realistically is probably only a few tenths. So it's it seems like a big gap, but these guys will not let go, especially because of that suck down there in France. So we'll see how they go there. Looking up the order, Luke Fallon's pulled it into the pits. He's had enough. Kobe has had enough as well. Garth Duffy's still out there circulating around, and he's just teetering on the edge of a personal best here as well. Just maybe a couple of tenths here and there, giving it back. So keep an eye on the Duff man, because he had a pretty good showing out there last week at Sandown.
Yeah, he did, and he definitely showed what he is capable of. Had a track he knows once he gets that set up right in that Mustang for sure. But meanwhile, the British Pig has put himself into 11th place. Then goes the Furby Meister, 54.741, only 0.05 of a second between himself and Kobe Marshall over 13.5 kilometres of racetrack. Goodness gracious me, that is absolute nonsense there. If you work that out, that pretty much after 30 odd turns, that's literally 1,000th of a second separating those two between each other per corner. That is so close. But the beer man is cracking on. He knows how to go racing. He knows that in the long stint of a race, he can come to fruition here at the moment. And Garth Duffy at the moment really turning the screws, Christopher Munro style there. 2 microseconds in the first, 2 unpersonal bests in the second, and he's got the 2 greens at the last one. So he's only got 1 sector to maintain his green at this point in time, and he should be there. Byring an absolute disaster. Looking very nice here under lights here for the Mustang. Beautiful looking car. Got 5 or 6, 7,000 headlights on the front of that thing, high beam style. No excuse for vision there for him as he rounds the final 4 corners of Circuit de la Sarthe. Just a dart to the left, dart to the right, over the curb he goes on the outside there. This is going to be an improvement for the Garth Duff man as he comes across the line very, very shortly to take it. And he goes to P through, in fact, with a 53.889, still 0.8 of a second away from the smooth criminal out in front. But that is qualifying done and dusted, Christopher Munro. That is our grid. 19 cars only qualified for a time on the circuit.
Yeah, there was still 6 cars that could not get a time in. So it just goes to show how difficult it is to keep the car on the circuit here at Le Mans. And I'll tell you what, the track limits are fairly strict too. You'll find yourself with dipping just a couple of wheels off in certain areas. We'll give you a bit of a slowdown penalty as well. So you might see a bit of that in the first couple of laps. Perhaps a car moving slowly down the straight means they've been handed out an automatic in-game slowdown penalty. So that could cause a bit of havoc heading down that straight, but I expect some 2, 3, 4 wide action anyway. But just waiting on the server to tick over here, and we can go through our grid officially, ladies and gentlemen, as the sun sets on this qualifying session tonight. Fallon will start off the front row regardless, with 8 tenths behind Garth Duffy in the Mustang. He's used to having a Mustang sniffing up his rear end. Usually it's got a man of Mr. Smith sitting in the driver's seat. Tonight it's the Duff man doing all the sniffing, with Marshall and Ferber off the second row. The Porsches aren't too far away here, with Ferber and Brooks in 4th and 5th, so they've done a pretty good job to get up there. Although the main stalwart of the Porsche, the chef down there in 10th, so maybe not completely comfortable with the car around here. Really tough to set them up too. I've noticed a lot of settings to be played with. And it's very easy to cook it out the other side of that really small little setup window.
Pun intended there for the chef in 10th place. But as you said, Luke Fallon, Guy Duffy, Kyle Marshall, will be there, and Ryan Ferber will be your top 4. Brooks, Can, Smith, DeBetta, Matt Munro in 9th place after being 3rd in practice overall. Will be disappointed with that. In 9th place, the chef rounds out the top 10 with the British Pig, Moneybags, the Erection, the old magistrate in 14th place, Budgie Smuggler in 15th, Clark Rubber 16th, the Wizard 17th, and the old Giorgio Wade 707 Boeing style in 18th place, with Kyle Douglas or calling the whiskey actually, because there is a Douglas whiskey out there for sure, in 19th. And we've still got 6 cars that did not qualify, ladies and gentlemen. Could not get those cars onto the race limit in the track cut conditions for iRacing. Did not set a time. And that is exactly what the Circuit de la Sarthe is all about. 13.5 kilometres of punishment coming our way. And we are all ready for it here in Sensational TV. 60-minute race flying your way very, very shortly. If those results would come up in just a hot second, boy, oh boy, that would be great if iRacing got their shit sorted together, Chris.
Yeah, I would love that. We seem to be in a little bit of a holding pattern here, server side, but I'm sure it'll all kick off very shortly. I'll just check my messages to ensure that we haven't had some sort of skullduggery happening on the back end. It seems that it's all good news, or at least no news is good news from our point of view, but possibly just the server doing it because of the long the long lap time might have something to do with it. A percentage of that lap time needs to be a cooldown period. Who bloody knows how it all works? It boggles my mind. Tell you what we do know how to do here at Sensational TV is bring you guys the best entertainment on the block. So if you like what you see, if you want to get involved in the action and tune in whenever we go live, hit the like button, subscribe as well. The bell there is to give yourself some notifications on your phone, on your computer, whatever's hooked up to YouTube. It'll let you know when we go live, and there'll be plenty of that coming up in the new year. Don't you worry about that. We've got Zach chiming in the chat as well, saying predictions P1, 2 and 3. I'll tell you what, we might be able to what do you think? Can we give away a prize pack if we get a correct prediction in the chat for P1, 2 and 3 trifecta?
Well, we could, mate, but it could be a mystery pack coming your way.
Yep.
Dead set in the fair dinkum department, where they've got a beautiful, beautiful sponsor on board for ARD Importing, and they are on like Donkey Kong. If you get your predictions right in the chat, you will win a ARD Importing hat coming your way and shipped directly to your door. We have got grey ones, we have got black ones as well. So depending on how big your head is in the real life, not talent-wise, you could be getting a dead set, beautiful ARD Importing cap coming away, courtesy of Zamp Racing, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful safety equipment and helmets, suits, gloves, shoes, you name it. They're all there for ARD Importing, and it could be coming away. But this is where the qualifying set out. Luke Fallon took it by 0.8 of a second over Garth Duffy. Kobe Marshall was another 0.7 away, even 0.8 in fact, from Garth Duffy too. Ferber, Brooks, Can, Smith, DeBetta, Munro and Cook round out the top 10 with the old Brittingham, Payrack in 11th and 12th. Rogers, Justice, Budge, Ramjam Potter, Wade Georgeson 18th, 19th for Cole Douglas, 20 for Dimitri Agathos, the old Greek god just sitting there too.
Yeah.
Armstrong, Archie White, Bell and Wayne Rogers round out the top 24. And that is the grid for tonight's proceedings, Christopher Munro. We are on for 60 minutes here.
Absolutely. Just getting ready for a start now. We've got Fallon off the inside there, off the outside into turn one. Duffy not too far away, about a car's length in fact. So with that straight line pace of the Mustang, he might be able to get up beside Fallon and give him a little bit of curry into turn one. But that remains to be seen, folks. It's a standing start here. The lights are up, and we are about to get racing with 60 minutes here at Delasar. And it's go time. It's a cracking start there from Luke Fallon. Actually, he will go up to the lead. They're going 3 wide down the back there as well. You can see Fallon just searching for the line. Duffman holds his line there with Kobe Marshall just pulling in alongside. But it looks like everyone's behaving quite nicely as they dip through the first couple of turns. Marshall having a look up the inside there of Duffy as well, getting alongside side by side now. But Duffy, there's been an accident in the back there. I'm not too sure. There's a car. Oh no, Matt Munro is around and dropping through the order. That is no good. The British Pig is involved in that one as well. He's moving very slowly indeed. Matt Munro just towing it back to pits. So disaster for him there. But they go down onto the straight for the first time. This is, we're riding with Kobe Marshall, who got through all that unscathed. Actually, the first half did really nicely indeed. But look at Cairns. He's got, who's that in front of him there? Liam Brooks in the Porsche, giving him absolute curry up the straight here. You can see out the front window, heading down into the first of the chicanes. Let's get an on-top view. There we go. Beautiful stuff with the headlights ablaze. And they're going to go side by side into the first lot of chicanes, Zach O'Reilly.
Night racing here at LeMANS, and there's drag already, ladies and gentlemen. This is the quarter-mile battle, and it looks like at the moment Kansas is going to have to sit behind that Porsche, but no, he's got the beautiful exit there, because I tell you what, Liam Brooks has had an absolute mare on the exit of the first chicane, and now it's a drag race once again as we come down to the second half of the Mulsanne Straight. Back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, they raced here. There was no chicanes. It was full. Whoever had the top speed advantage got the job done. I'll tell you what, though, Garth Duffy's had a mare off the start-finish line. He's in fourth. Now he's going to get fifth taken straight off him by Ferber, because straight away into fourth place he goes down to the braking zone, 2 by 2 in fact between Smith and Marshall. Beautiful driving there. Garth Duffy gone down to fifth, Ferber up to fourth. The Porsche looking very, very quick here in this opening stanza, but his Mercedes, Ferrari, BMW, Porsche and Mustang all inside the top five here at the moment. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And it's absolutely going to be on like Donkey Kong here, because I'll tell you what, Agent Smith at the moment is under all sorts here from Ferber. That Porsche is maxed out to the limit there. That flat six is singing to the high heavens. Who's braver into the braking zone? They all look about the same there, but who's going to get on the anchors earlier and file it out the other side? Oh, a bit of training paints there between Brooks and Cairns too. That was beautiful, beautiful racing between the two of them. Hard to race at night, though, ladies and gentlemen, because I'll tell you what, everything at night seems 30% quicker than what your normal reflexes are in the grand scheme of things. Speaking from in real life experience, coming to sunset and night time, you feel like you're absolutely going 400 kilometres an hour versus 280. But look at Smith now. He's looking up the inside here. Kobe Marshall's under threat. They're both filing their way through. Goodness gracious me. That was hairy, hairy, hairy sort of stuff there between the two of them. They come out the other side. Now Ferber and Duffy are going to chime in onto this battle. They keep fighting here. It's literally only right there as we've got a new subscriber to the channel, Allow KC 003 in their beautiful lyrical gangster style there in terms of the rapping stuff, Christopher Munro. But they all stream down. 4 headlights ablaze, high beams are plenty here, and this is the first half of the Circuit de la Sarthe.
Yeah, still only halfway around, ladies and gentlemen, and about 15 or 14 and a half laps to go in this race. Beautiful stuff from the top 5 here, all racing in very close quarters indeed. Now just starting to fan out just a little bit, but at the front you can see Luke Fallon just starting to get pressured here by Kobe Marshall, and we're right on board with Marshall actually, and just see what he can see. He's got the man who set the timing tower alight there in qualifying, the pole sitter. We thought might just dip away here, but I tell you what, Kobe's come to play in that red missile he's got going here as they cross the final couple of turns in this first lap. You can see the differing lines there, just throwing it over the curbs too. How good are the suspension in these cars? Well, that just proves it right there. But look at this down the back, or down in fifth, should I say. Ferber and Duffy side by side. Duffy going around the outside. Smith just a cork in the bottle, getting pushed up the hill by the Mustang as well. Here he goes. He's going to have a dip up the inside as Duffy has a look. Oh, geez, they were side by side there for just a second. But Smith is a little bit tardy on the exit as they cross the crest and go down the hill exactly for the second time, and Duffy gets a 2 for 1. Thank you very much. He goes back into P3, and his campaign is back on the move.
Yeah, definitely. Great stuff there from Duff. I tell you what, Agent Smith is under all sorts of pressure now. He's just got to use that horsepower of that BMW underneath his skin there and try to power his way back down the Mulsanne Straight, because that Porsche is coming at a rate of knots. We've got Porsche in 5th, 6th, 7th place, all hunting each other here right at this point in time, and it's all about the suck here, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of which, doesn't matter about the Greek god, because Dimitri is absolutely flying here in that Mustang. He is bull at a gate style. He's got a beautiful, beautiful run over the buggy smuggler. He's got 12th place there, ready to rock and roll. He's got the overlap, ladies and gentlemen. He's on the inside, which is the perfect place to be here for the right-hander coming his way. Now it's just a battle of Mustangs too. They get into the braking zone. Does Dimitri. Beautiful stuff to Zagathos. Lovely, lovely stuff. Uses all the apron and a bit more there on the entrance to that corner, but it's come out the other side. Beautiful stuff there. And there's a bit of an accident in the background there, Christopher Munro, between Brittingham and Rogers. I think they're both turned around. There's some brake lights off in the foreground there, and they're facing the wrong way. Goodness gracious me, that is disaster.
Back to pits he goes. That is disaster. Where's the British pig? He's moving slowly as well. So yeah, maybe a little bit of coming together for both of those guys, Beetle style. But up the top there, I've got a replay queued up for when the action calms down a little bit. We're going to see what happened to Matt Munro there on lap 1. But at the time being, we've got Duffy right up the back here of Liam Brooks, and in turn, Ferber's behind him. So we're just going to ride on board with Ferber because he's got both of them in the out the front window there as they come in through the first of the into the Mulsanne hairpin at the end of the straight there as well. Look at the acceleration there from Garth Duffy. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Right up behind Liam Brooks now, as we can see from the chopper cam, right up under the rear wing. All he's got to do is make this move stick. But these two guys just playing a little bit of leapfrog, as I said in the pre-game show. We might get a bit of that happening as you get towed along the first straight. You get jumped in the second one. Here comes Brian Ferber with that double suck. Look at the closing pace of him. Just nowhere to go as they head up through the curves here. Oh no, there's a mistake there from Duffy. Lets Ferber through, and here comes Bradley Cairns as well to take advantage of that. Will he do so or not? He might just have a dip down into the right-hander. He does not. Thinks better of it. Let's go back and have a look at what happened to Matt Munro on lap 1, ladies and gentlemen. That is a bit too far forward. Let's go back just a little bit further. Let's see what happened to him. He's off the street there. Okay. Yeah, something's gone amiss. Heading down into turn 1, 3 wide, as we can see. Oh, what's going to happen here, folks? There's a slow-moving car, a little bit of argy-bargy in front, and yeah, just getting collected there on the way through. Nothing, I don't know, nothing too much about that, but unfortunate stuff for Matt Munro on lap 1.
Yeah, look, he just got checked up in the wrong place in the wrong time. He was just a passenger. He put his brakes on and thought about it again, but oh no, what's happened to the Duff man? Don't tell me he's disconnected here, ladies and gentlemen. No, he's back on again. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. That man right there has got internet connections, and I reckon he's got some pace discrepancies as well, because he has filed his way down from second on the grid into 5th place early on in this race. I don't know what that feedback is. There's another one. Ferber in front is also disappearing. Let's have a look here what's happened to Clark Grubber, because he was right up here. He was going for it. Look at that slow car. Oh, binned himself into Wado. Oh my goodness gracious me. And that is why we saw two cars just absolutely pirouetted in the background. Full dead set murder is the case. Snoop Dogg style there. Oh my goodness me. That is, Garth Duff man. He's on the slide around. He goes. He's out. See you later. He's facing the wrong way. 180 degrees style there. Goodness me, in the fair dinkum department. He's going to have to wait an absolute oblivion. Just
nicely done.
Goodness gracious me, that was nicely done indeed without the traction control. There's a car behind him who's just sort of pirouetted himself into the bunda as well, I reckon, behind that. But that has promoted everyone in front of him up one position. Brooksy is under all sorts of pressure here now, because I tell you what, this man, Luke Fallon, is under all sorts himself. He's gone from first down to third. We've just missed that. Kobe Marshall is in P1, ladies and gentlemen, in the Ferrari. Yellow headlights ablaze and leading by a country mile. That timing tower needs to go to the gaps. I'll give you the hot tip. But I tell you what, Liam Brooks here is absolutely flying here. He's got Furby up his ass. He's thinking about it here, but I'll tell you what, with a 9/10 advantage and ever increasing there for Liam Brooks, he is right there. That Porsche Jetstar livery is absolutely flying. Maybe someone there sitting around. We'll have a look at a quick replay here between what happened to Kobe Marshall and Luke Fallon. This is now getting tight. It's getting closer. It's getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. Kobe Marshall's got the chockies on him. So we're flying down the Mulsanne Straight here. This is going to be, I think there's the second half of the Mulsanne Straight. No, in fact, it's the first half. Around the outside does Luke Fallon try to go. No, it's into the end of the Mulsanne Straight. Up the inside does Luke Fallon go. Gets on the accelerator pedal. Goes for it. But Kobe Marshall has just dead set given him a bath. And that is all it took. See you later, alligator. Thank you very much, mother, for the rabbits. And the chef is on the prowl.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the overtake for first position. And since then, Marshall's put 2 seconds on him as well. So just finding a bit of a slow patch in this sort of second phase of this race. 10 minutes in, and the tyres are starting to get a little bit softer as well. So can Luke Fallon find a comeback here and reel Kobe Marshall in before it gets just too out of hand. But up the front, it's Liam Brooks with Ferber right on his tail here. You can see Ferber just searching for a way through. Had to come off the racing line there as well, showing the headlights in the side mirror there as well. Be quite distracting there for Liam Brooks. But we can ride on board with Ferber here and just see the battle of the Porsches is on, folks. So they are evenly matched in even machinery. We can see it's the Bogan missile. Apparently, Liam Brooks, the insignia on the back of that Porsche. I like it. The Bogan missile. Don't mess with that guy. He's straight down to the servo to get his packet of rollies and whatever else he's into down there.
Marlboro Blues, I reckon.
Yeah, Marlboro Blues and a pink bloody Monster energy drink. Away he goes home to smash the missus up as well. Oh, goodness me. It's all happening here in the commentary box. But let's ride on the back here of Liam Brooks's car out the Bogan missile's rear end and see if his mate there in the other Porsche can make any headway here. Oh, just having a little dip up there around the outside, Zach O'Reilly.
Oh, trailer park girl style move coming up our way here. Porsche versus Porsche here too. This is fantastic stuff. Into the Jetstar livery Porsche does he go, but he's overshot it as a Bogan missile. Liam Brooks here is under all sorts of pressure. He is well and truly on the defensive line. Now it is going to be Ferber, who's just got the run onto the final corner of a Circuit de la Sarthe. Now they're racing hammer and tong. He's half into slipstream here. He won't think about it into turn 1. He'll probably try to set him up into turns 4 and 5 coming our way. Just gets off the anchors there. Does the Furby man. Brooks has gone full defensive mode, so now he can focus on the racing line. Can Furby. And look at that gap just ever decrease and climb back onto the arse end. Porsche versus Porsche here. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here. Tell you what, if Jetstar decided to change their goddamn intro song that plays on the plane when you're sitting there for 20 minutes on the tarmac, they probably would be in P1 at the moment because their shares are shithouse at the moment. But Brooks here is got in the old Tijuana to him. Luke Fallon is back into P1. He gapped him by 2.2 seconds, did Kobe Marshall. Let's have a look here what happened. I think Marshall just let him pass there.
Slow down.
Just something of a slowdown redress there between the two of them.
There's a penalty for cutting.
Penalty for cutting, says Christopher Munro in the background there. Well, looks like Marshall now gets to get the chockies back on and get into that P1. But look at Furby here and Liam Brooks drag racing into the first chicane. And I'll tell you what, that is great stuff by Ferber up the inside. Thank you, mother, for the rabbits. Comes out the other side now. Just use all that track limits available to him. And it's all happening in the background. The Gavril here is trying to be thrown out the window here for justice. He is on the inside there. There's the Greek God around the outside. He goes of him. Is he going to try and get the job done? He's got the suck here now as well. That's Rogers right in front of us there. So we've got a good old drag race here coming, but it's going to be slipstream advantageous. That Mustang has got a lot of downforce on it because here at the moment, the Corvette of Justice is trying to go around the outside. Wide.
Here we go.
This is incredible racing, ladies and gentlemen. The Mustang's been out-dragged here, but the second one has got less wing on. So it's a full Corvette versus pony style, and into the P9 goes Darren Justice. Lovely, lovely stuff. Threw that Gavril out the window, cracked the windscreen to the two Mustang drivers behind him. It's Chevrolet versus Ford. They've come out the other side, and Rogers here at the moment is dead set trying to get that P10 back off the Greek God, Christopher.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there as we saw the boys going three wide, rubbing a few doors as well down there into the straight. But look at this back here. We got the chef and Brad Armstrong in the lonely Aston Martin. I don't think, there are a couple down the order as well, but the newest car in the GT3 world here in iRacing getting a good old workout. Let's ride on with Brad Smith because he can see all the action from behind. Actually, he's taking advantage of that. They are going to go side by side here down the straight on the way to the S's. Or the Dunlop curves, should I say. But look at the acceleration there of the BMW, just getting the job done. Almost has an overlap. Oh, it just has to sort of got balked there a little bit, but goes and sends it up the inside of the chef. I'll tell you what, we didn't see that kind of non-defense last week at Sandown. The chef was all over that sort of stuff, but this time, Brett Smith, now just with the beautiful exit as well. Cook in the Porsche just says, return serve, thank you very much. Here we go, but it's Brad Armstrong now who has the aid of the double suck, and he's just got a little bit of an overlap there on Smith in the rear quarter panel department. I tell you what, he's got to be careful now going through this little section because it's going to be very difficult to keep it side by side, but they go there now as well. Look at Chef as well around the outside, keeping it on the track. Beautiful stuff here. Oh, no, we knew it was going to happen. Oh, it was just the foreshadowing was there, folks. You could see it. They were getting a little bit too antsy with each other. And sure as anything, they come together, and poor old Brad Armstrong, arm weak at this point because he's dropped down to 14th position.
Yeah, the old strong arm didn't work for him, unfortunately. He just got caught up in a bit of tomfoolery there, but we'll get back to him and see how close he can get back up into the top 10, because at the moment, the old Speedo Dick Togs is there. Oh, that's huge. Darren Justice is off. He's gone. See you later. He's facing the wrong way around the circuit too. Oh my goodness gracious me. And he's just going the wrong way around the circuit. Where the hell are you going, Darren? Oh, looped it on his own. See you later, alligator. And he's just facing, pirouetting the wrong side of the circuit. Now he's going to flick spin it around, try to get his bearings back and go for it. But all by himself there did the magistrate just guilty himself into something. It's all happening here. Look at this battle here. The Wizard has absolutely Wingardium Leviosa himself out of that battle. Now we've got Garth Duffy around the outside. He's trying to go on the erection. The erection is full on strong here with the blue pill. But I'm telling you now, it is beer goggles versus the Viagra tablet. We are going hammer and tong here. On to the Mulsanne straight we go. Who's going to get the chockies? Is it going to be Budge with the 4 quadruple suck here from himself? But look at the pace there from the big man. Potter's had an absolute mare on the exit. This Mustang is going to power his way through onto this GT3. Mercedes-Benz in front of him. Now he's just got to think about where he can go. He's got the suck. He's got the advantage here. Does Michael Budge. That rear ring is absolutely giving him a disadvantage. Cannot even get close to that GT3 in front of him. But it's on for the lead because Marshall and Fallon have still traded places here. Goodness gracious me. This is fantastic racing here. Too wide, and Fallon just demands that precision around the outside. I'll tell you what, Kobe Marshall's going to go back at him here at 100 rate of knots at the moment. Lovely, lovely stuff. Around the outside again. This is another trailer park girl move coming his way, but he's on the worst part of the circuit to do so because he's right on the disadvantageous side. There is 2 right-handers coming his way. But if Kobe Marshall can get enough overlap here, he's going to take Luke Fallon's P1 off him once again. These guys have been trading places here, and he does so under brakes. Beautiful, beautiful move. Fallon had no answer for that. Kobe Marshall in the yellowed headlight Ferrari is just absolutely giving it here to the smooth criminal, showing him he can be a better one. I'm smarter than you, but we've got another straight to navigate here, Christopher. Who's going to get the suck train on?
Yeah, well, you can see it there, the horsepower machine there of the Mercedes-Benz of Luke Fallon, just closing in on the back now of the Marshall machine. And look at this, now they go side by side. The next inside run is for Luke Fallon. He will get it up the inside there. And, oh, geez, just hanging it fat around the outside as Marshall gets himself on the inside for the next little run there and retakes P1 as well. This is a fantastic battle here for P1. Look at him trying to hang it fat around the outside. Gets driven off the circuit too. Marshall says, I'll tell you what, mate, you're going to have to try a little bit harder than that. There's a little bit of a flashy of the headlights there of Luke Fallon too. I don't think he was too happy with that little manoeuvre. But now it will be battle stations on, because look at that, just giving him the nose up the straight here into the right-hander. And now look at him closing around the outside. This is a fantastic battle, Zach O'Reilly. I tell you what, people at home, are you not entertained?
Oh my goodness me, if you're not entertained, you're an absolute dud to society. Go get yourself a health check, for goodness gracious me, because Kobe Marshall and Luke Fallon are absolutely flying here at the moment. It's the copper versus the criminal, ladies and gentlemen, and it's P1 and 2 fought over sheep stations. We're 19 and a half minutes into this 60-minute here at the moment. 5 out of 15, whichever way you want to go about it. And I'll tell you what, Kobe Marshall is driving out of his skin tonight. Marshall Motorsports is on fire. Look at their YouTube channel as well for some highlights later on after this one, because there will be plenty if this keeps going on for the next 40 minutes in fact, between the two. Fallon has got the pace advantage over him on the straight, but I'll tell you what, Marshall just knows where to put the car at the best of times. Onto the ripple strip he goes as Luke Fallon. He's trying to get that car nosed in for the perfect run out of turns 3. He gets that job done, but look at the slip angle there from Kobe Marshall. Absolutely dead set. Galloped him out of that one. Just handing out scissors left, right, and centre. Choppy chop style is that Ferrari. It is on fire early on in this race. Goodness gracious me. Fallon will be absolutely spewing at the moment. There will be thoughts going through that guy's head at this point in time of, am I the best? I don't know. Maybe this guy's quicker. Where is Dan Smith? I don't know about it. But in a teenager's old head, all those questions start to come to fruition. He's just got to get that mental capacity back onto it. And speaking of mental capacity here, the old budget smuggler knows he's in the TikTok range. He's down in Bondi Beach at the moment, rocking the speedos here as the budget smuggler, showing him his old package off to the old females in front. Nearly got that job done, in fact, too. We just missed that, but at the moment, the far North Queensland Premier himself in Bradley, Kansas, got an absolute barnstormer of a car behind him because Ferber is coming out at a rate of knots here too. They're going to drag race their way through it. If these two come together between Ferber and Brooks, Kansas is going to be right there with them. They come around that beautiful stuff. Overtake there for Ferber. Brooks has to settle for fourth. Kansas is going to come back here with 0.5 of a second, and that gap is ever decreasing here under the lights of Circuit de la South, Christopher.
Yeah, not many lights out there. Only the headlights ablaze as far as any sort of track lighting, which I'm sure makes the visual spectacle out there at home. But the two Porsches we've seen have a good old little stash about 10 minutes ago. They're back into it again. It's the Bogan missile now that has the advantage. Goes up the inside. It's Ferber, and Brooks is behind him, following with Bradley Cairns just sniffing at the rear here at the moment in the Lamborghini. Look at that beautiful interior with the rear view mirror computer up there right in your visions blocking. But the Bogan missile just didn't get the best exit out of that one, so he might be a little bit vulnerable here to the Lambo down the back straight. Well, coming down into the hard braking zone, should we say. It's going to be, who's going to get there first? It's Ferber, followed by Brooks. Bradley Cairns sitting there as well, but we're back on for the lead, Zach. It's all happening.
Oh, look at these two go at it again. Marshall is under all sorts because Fallon's got up the inside. Beautiful stuff. He's on the advantageous side of the circuit coming into a right-hander. Is Toby Marshall going to stick it fat around the outside like he did last lap? He is too. But boy, oh boy, fair dinkum side by side into the braking zone. Fallon's on the overlap. He's got the chockies done. That is another move into the lead there for Luke Fallon. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. The old copper versus the criminal have got the job done again, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a slipstream battle. And Luke Fallon gets out into P1 underneath the Porsche overpass they go. This is the biggest gap they've had basically for the last 3 laps, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic racing, clean as a whistle too. They're just taking advantage side by side. This is going to be one of those situations, as we always say, who's going to play checkers, who's going to play chess? Is it going to be Marshall? Is it going to be Luke Fallon? I don't know here at the moment, but the yellow headlights are ablaze at this point in time. They will be blinding in the rear vision mirror of Luke Fallon's car. 4.5 of a second now and gapping here. Luke Fallon's just found his rhythm so quickly here once he's got that job done. And the overtake, you can see the Ferrari just losing a little bit of traction there, running a bit wider than that Mercedes AMG GT3 in front of him. But now at the point in time, Fallon's into the pits.
Ooh,
and I don't think so at the
it.
moment. Geez, that was close. It is at 46%, it's 82%, sorry, I'm completely wrong there. 82%, this is a fuel rate. So we are coming into that point, ladies and gentlemen, where you get to that style of where am I going to fuel? Am I going to undercut? Am I going to overcut? Who knows? And at the moment, with 2.2 seconds between Fallon and Marshall now, this gap, it is on like Donkey Kong, as is this battle here between Smith and the Greek God, Christopher.
Yeah, the Greek God up 13 positions, mind you. He's out there. He's got Plato on his side and whoever else. Hercules, who knows? I'm not that familiar with the old Greek gods, but I'll tell you what, I think he was a philosopher from back in the day, possibly not a Greek god, possibly not even Greek, to be honest. So we'll have to get the old fact checkers onto that one. The sensational fact checkers working hard tonight, but not as hard as Brett Smith here. He's up 1 position in total. We saw him early in this race in an absolute cracking battle there, probably a 5 or 6 car train at the very beginning, but now he is settled in 6th position. He's got his eyes on the Greek God in front, but I'll tell you what, he's on the comeback trail, on the charge as well, should I say, in that Mustang. But oh wow, look at Brett Smith now. Beautiful exit. He will draw up alongside here, in fact, and have the inside run. That's a beautiful overtake there from Brett Smith. That actually just had his measure. Worked it out perfectly, as you said before, Zach, playing chess here at Circuit de la South, and that is Queen to F4 check. And what can the Greek God come back with? He's going to have to pull the king out of check at the moment and rethink his strategy to get that get that pawn up to G6 and get the checkmate on.
Well, as Brendan Hack said in the chat there, Hermes, is the god of speed in the Greek land. So we've got to look at the Hermes.
There
And
you
I'll
go.
tell you what, Agathos has just absolutely injected that now. He has got a beautiful, beautiful run down the outside. This is a tight little corner coming their way. Overlap, but it's going to be a left-hander coming his way for Agathos. So he's got 5th place now. He knows he's on the advantageous side of the circuit. This is beautiful, beautiful racing between the two of them. Up the inside he goes, so Dimitri. Oh, it's hanging a fat there is Agent Smith. Goodness gracious me, he is right there. He's trying to show up Dan tonight in his absentee at the moment is Agent Smith V2. But on the slipstreamer now, down the suck, we've got, it is full on like Donkey Kong. BMW versus Mustang. And I'll tell you what, these guys know how to go racing. It's getting ever so closer. Dimitri just has to go left, but he didn't. He went actually he did go left. I was supposed to say right, but he doesn't. And up the inside goes Brent Smith. Is he going to pull it up though? That's very, very deep under brakes. That BMW is supreme, but he's lost a lot of exit speed there. He had to overcook it into the entrance there to get that overtake done. Now he just has to go right there. Does Agent Smith. The Greek dog giving him a love tap down the straightaway. Again we go. Now it's all on Donkey Kong. He gave him just a little bit too much there. It's giving him the reverse suckage there for Agent Smith. So Agathos is going to have to sit behind him as we come under the Toyota overpass. Once again, he's just filing his way through. Smith is looking at his rear vision mirror, but he knows that Mustang's too far away. Into the right-hander we go. Full on pressure point motors here from Brett Smith. Sorry, goodness gracious me. And I'll tell you what, this is incredible. Agathos are 14 positions up from where he started, ladies and gentlemen. He dead set started in 22nd and is now fighting for a top 5 position here over Agent Smith.
Yeah, absolutely. Up the road there is Liam Brooks, about 13.5 seconds to be precise, and he's got his hands full as well with his old Porsche teammate as well, Ryan Ferber, just in front of him. So possibly these guys keep the battle on, and Smith and Agathos, if they work together a little bit, they might be able to close that gap, but they are in full battle stations here at the moment with Agathos not in the mood to stick around. He's gone up 14, he wants to make it 15, and he wants to do that as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just about at half race distance, so we're probably going to see a few guys starting to peel into the pit lane. We've seen Greg Cook and beyond, pretty much everyone from 14th down now has made their pit stop. A couple of made 2 little trips through the pit lane, mind you. Speaking of pit lane, here comes Kobe Marshall dipping it in now. He thinks, you know what? I think he can see a little gap back there. About 30 seconds is the pit service time. So he's thinking about whether he can pit himself into a bit of clear air, get some new boots on, fill the car up, and try and make some of that gap up to Luke Fallon before he came into the pit lane. There was a gap of about, what was it, about 1.5 seconds, I think, because I think a couple of mistakes just starting to compound there for the Marshall Motorsports Ferrari. So he will just take this little break to maybe take a few deep breaths and try and screw his head back on and get back into the rhythm.
But yeah, well, look, when you come into a rhythm, it's sort of one of those things where you think about, how can I go about this on the second half of the race? We've got 28 minutes and 47 seconds on the clock, which means you've got about 21 minutes and 10 to go. So you've got to think about where you're going to be familiar in terms of the tyre degradation, the fuel loads, everything like that. And that is exactly what, I'll tell you what, Kobe Marshall is thinking at the moment. But Luke Fallon's going to go long. He's going to try and save his tyres for the end of the race. He'll go around one more time, is my prediction. Hopefully he's listening and going, oh, you know what, I'll listen to Zach and just go around one more time. But grand scheme of things, it is undercut city here at Circuit de la Sarthe. We've seen it happen so many times. I've been witness to about 4 or 5 of them. I've been witness to another 1 stop strategy versus 2, and it has come proper. But this man on your screen right now, Kobe Marshall, he's down 6 positions where he started. He started in 3rd. He was fighting for the lead of the race between himself and Luke Fallon. Is that undercut going to work for him? We don't know until Luke Fallon comes to pit, but he's got a fair old advantage. Look at this battle, though. This is just incredible. They've got 2 Porsches, Ferber and Brooks, absolutely going at it. They have not been split by 0.4 of a second for the whole race, ladies and gentlemen. It has now got out to that last little bit, and we can see what happened here because I think there was a cut there from Liam Brooks. No, it wasn't. It was Ferber who got the cut done, and Liam Brooks just galloped his way back into P3. So a little bit of P2, sorry, as a little bit of a change of position goes on, but they're not letting go of each other. These Porsches now are coming into that 30-minute margin where the tyres are starting to get a bit dead. And if they become a little bit towy as a Roman sandal in the arse end, these boyos could be in for an absolute blinder here, Christopher Munro, in the handling department.
He's a Roman sandal in the arse end. Absolutely love it. But yes, absolutely. These guys probably separated now by the biggest margin of all this entire race. 2 seconds, in fact. All it takes is a couple of little mistakes, and I think Ferber has just gotten another slowdown penalty. So that's just like that. Bang, he's 3 seconds or 2.5 seconds off the pace there with Liam Brooks. Coming into this half race distance now, it's time that everyone tries to get into the pit lane. I think the strategy here is just pretty much get in half race distance, put the new boots on, fill it up to the end, and away you go again. Because of the lap is so long, one lap is enough to get that undercut and or overcut, whatever you want to apply onto your what do you call it? The guy you're battling with. What would you call that? Your nemesis.
Yeah, your arch nemesis.
Arch nemesis. There. So do the sums before you come into the pit stop. And you probably do the homework. Really, you know exactly what your pace is on new set of tyres and what they are on an old set. Oh, speaking of which, here comes Duffy just closing in on the Greek god. Way too fast for him. Did not expect the Greek god to be travelling at that speed, which was a little bit slower than what Garth Duffy was coming into that corner at. Had to get fully out of it, and now he's just given up the ghost by about 2.5 seconds.
Well, it was the beer man. I would have just come straight into the pits and gone for the undercut here. But that's something for these boyos to think about later on. But I'll tell you what, it's on here between 13th and 12th. The Justice versus Bradley Cairns is really, really on again, ladies and gentlemen. We can see this Lamborghini just absolutely flying here at the moment. A top 10 position for the Far North Queensland Premier Capital in Bradley Cairns is 100% on like Donkey Kong, and he knows about it. He's got Darren Justice in front of him, and now they're going for it, Hammer and Tom. Furby's come into the... Oh, no, he didn't. That Tom Mattel's just giving me a nightmare. But it's Bradley Cairns looking very, very racy. 3.5 tenths of a second now. By the time they get down this into the Porsche curves here, this is the S's coming their way too. It's going to be a Lamborghini versus the Corvette. Who's got the best of the two mid-engine handling style cars here at the stage? And it looks like Bradley Cairns is just flying here at the moment. Look at the closing speed he's got, just darting his way through all of these S's, left, right, left, right, left, right, you name it. And he's flying here at the moment is Bradley Cairns. Look at this man. He will get himself back into the top 10. No doubt about it after all the pit stops have consumed themselves. But who is going to come into the pits soon? Luke Fallon has not come in. He is still sitting out there. Ferber has not come in either. Either of these two on your screen now. Justice versus Cairns. And it's going to be a little bit of a monkey see, monkey do thing, I reckon, between these two mid-engine GT3 cars racing on the circuit, Christopher Munro. It's all 0 pit stops from first down to 8th position. Everyone else behind him has at least taken one. Who's going to come out in Chocky's land at the moment for the last 27 minutes of this race?
Yeah, we're going to see up the front, Luke Fallon, his last lap around was a 3:54 dead, which is incredible pace. That's 5 seconds faster than Ryan Ferber there on that last time around. Now back down to his battle partner there, Kobe Marshall. His last lap around was a 4:48, but that's including the pit stop. So we're going to see where he is on the circuit. He's actually... where is he there? Coming down the Mulsanne Straight, so entering the second lot of chicanes down there. So we'll see what his next lap is, and if it's any quicker than Fallon's at all. But I think he just had a bit of traffic to deal with there anyway. But down here to the battle, we got Bradley Cairns on the back there of Justice and getting the job done. Beautiful stuff there from the Lamborghini driver. He'll get into the braking zone first and consolidate that overtake. into the left-hander too he goes. That's a beautiful car. I love it. Why aren't more people driving the Lambo? I saw this in a Reddit post earlier, that exact question, folks, and more than half of the people that commented just said because it just wants to kill you constantly. So there you go, the poor old Lambo. It looks nice, but it's a bit of a handful to get around the circuit apparently.
Yeah, well, you know about a handful there, Christopher Munro. You've got one in the third leg department there, I've been told, but nonetheless...
baby's hand, perhaps?
Yeah, depends on what size your hand is, I guess. But in the grand scheme of things, I'll tell you what, Bradley Cairns doesn't care about all that nonsense in the Reddit department. He's just going hammer and tong. He knows how to go about racing, and he always gets himself inside that top 10 position here in the lonely Lambo. But it's been a story of attrition for this man tonight. Flying along, 353 is his best. Last one was a 354 dead versus a 353.5. So those tyres are just starting to creep into that interval here with only 5 laps left in this race. Luke Fallon here at the moment just lifting and coasting beautifully here in that Mercedes-Benz, getting that car beautifully set up for a massive overcut over himself and Kobe Marshall, who is a good, I can't even calculate that one at the moment, Christopher. I reckon he's probably a good half a minute, maybe 40 seconds off the lead here, but still racing around here with 355 as his best. I think it's Luke Fallon's one for the chockies here. Kobe Marshall could settle for second as we see Luke Brooks come into the pit lane now to service his pit lane stop. He's got a full up with fuel, and then in front of him, those go Budge and Marshall. Just thought about it there, but he just used the apex there. Past Budgie Smuggler does go Marshall into 7th place. He will get that job done, and now the rest of them in front of him have to think about pit stops very soon because there's only 15 minutes left in this one.
Yeah, we're going to get a good look at what his pace is at the moment. So a 355 or 356 dead, basically. 2 seconds slower than Luke Fallon. So Fallon just has extended that gap probably to about 4 seconds by the time he comes through and services his pit stop. But he's just gone purple in the first sector and purple in the last sector on that last time around. So he is absolutely flying, ladies and gentlemen, in this back end of the race. He's on low fuel, which smells a lot to me like this bloke does a lot of low fuel practice. He's a qualifying master, as we've seen, but when the car comes to him, he just gets better and better. So expect that gap to be quite big by the time he gets in and out of the pit. But back here, Brett Smith has now encountered the Greek god again, and you can see those headlights ablaze in the old mirrors there of the BMW, and look at it closing in at a rate of knots here. He dekes left or right for his point of view. He shows the nose, and it's not enough to perturb the BMW driver of Brett Smith, who is actually on for a podium here, and I think that's probably one of his best results in this entire season as well. So he'll be trying to fight tooth and nail for this old Greek god down there behind him, and saying, you shall not pass for the rest of this, 22 minutes.
Yeah, 23 minutes left, but he's got a good run here, it's Dimitri. So he's going to try and fire it down the inside here. No, doesn't think about it again. And Smith survives for another corner. Lovely stuff. But the Greek god is 100% on there. Hermes, as we like to call him, courtesy to Brendan Hark in the chat. He loves life at the moment. The god of speed is Hermes, and that is what Dimitri is trying to channel now.
Not to be confused with Herpes, who is not the Greek god of speed.
He's the god of skin inflammation, is the old herpes god. I'll give you the hot tip. But at the moment, Hermes, if you know what a Hermes car is, ladies and gentlemen, you will be privy to GTA Vice City. That was the old school, a low-rider, Mexican-style car with the flames off the side of it there too, but I know what's happened to the better.
Oh, no.
He's gone down at a rate of knots here. He's lost a couple of positions. He said to me in the chat earlier that he would do better, and that is not how you do better, Jaco. I'll give you the hot tip. That is a complete opposite. Do worse there for Jakey, and he's on like Donkey Kong back into it, but it's still on like Donkey Kong here, speaking of which, because I'll tell you what, Agathos has got a good old little bit of a suckage coming his way. If he nails this one onto the Mulsanne straight, he does. In fact, you can see the left to right chicane just coming his way. And absolutely beautiful stuff. The Mulsanne straight. I'm at the wrong end of the circuit. But that Mustang, he's 100% hounding that BMW. And you can see on board here by the both of them, it's just different apexes, different styles. Up the inside goes a great god. That was full sideways there for Aiden Smith. Aiden Smith V2's got the job lost off him, and Agathos into P3 here now. Goodness gracious me, and they both come into the pits at the same time. Goodness me, that was a perfect opportunistic move there for the big man. Fallon's still in the pit lane. Where is Kobe Marshall going to come? He's 1.5 kilometres away from that anticipation. This could be interesting here, ladies and gentlemen. Fallon's still sitting there. He has not come out to the pit exit. That timing tower is right now lit up to the pit exit screen, and that is a dead set absolute misère as Kobe Marshall would concern. He is not even rounded the final corner yet, and I'll tell you what, Luke Fallon is already on his way into LBJ territory at the moment. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. Overcut has worked for Luke Fallon, and that is a dead set equal opportunity with 4 laps to go in this race. Who's going to take the chockies? Is Luke Fallon going to be able to keep that car perfectly pointed on the circuit on those cold tyres?
Yeah, massive gap. Look at that, 23 seconds by the time they both equal out in their pit stops. That is an absolute, what do you call it, hammer time there. Yeah, a destruction there of poor old Kobe Marshall's will and testament there. But let's go back here. Lachlan Bell, we haven't called his name all night. He is on the back of the Justice Man, and he's going to hand out his own sentencing here, perhaps. He's got the pace now in that Mustang, looking pretty dangerous too. The Corvette of Darren Justice just waning a bit through that curvy section. True to American style, they got plenty of horsepower, not too much cornering ability, but we'll see that. And this is one of those circuits, it's got it all, folks. It's got long straights, we've got tight little technical sections like we just went through there as well. Then you've got the long winding kind of wide apex turns as well. You got ups and downs, you got everything here. And it's just one of the most difficult circuits to be very clean at as well. But you can see Lachlan Bell now on the comeback trail. He's up 11 positions too, mind you. Started down there in 23rd position, which is now in DNF territory because we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those tonight. Oh, there goes Justice. He's banged the gavel once, just a bit too hard, and spins it round off into the bunda, and Lachlan Bell goes up into P11.
Unfortunate there for the magistrate. He just got lost. Ring-a-ding-ding was flashing that barrel right behind him, and he thought, I think I've got to move on, and it just pressured magistrate out of this one, unfortunately for him. But I tell you what, lovely, lovely racing up and down the field so far. Looks like Agathos and Brooks are still close together, and you can see there, they're both line astern. They're both a headlight distance away from each other. You can see the old dimming there on the headlights, just fading away, and that is probably the place where you want to be in the suck range. It's under half a second just about by the time we get to the braking zone, I would say here, unless they come together. No, they don't. Lovely stuff from Liam Brooks, just driving that Jetstar Bogan missile thing out of its skin here in the Porsche Carrera Cup style. Loving it in the GT3 Cup. Porsches are 3 and 4. The Greek god here in Hermes has absolutely nothing in the old answer department here so far for Liam Brooks. Loving how both of these guys go racing though. They're clean, they're fast, they're mean. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, when you have that sort of aspect on show, you know that you've got two quality drivers. And I have not seen Agathos in the championship this season. So far, a debutant is my prediction for tonight, and he's putting himself into the top 5. Not a bad show there, Christopher.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a few actually. Well, I've gotten a few bites on the old TikTok and on our socials, ladies and gentlemen. If you aren't aware, we are on all the social media as well. Sensational TV. Look us up. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. For goodness sake, we're on Facebook, obviously, X as well, but I don't really use that at all because it doesn't really bring us any sort of audience. It's TikTok, man. We get plenty of comments asking where is this racing series being held, and I always say, mate, this is Aussie Sim Racing. Here's the link to the Discord, and every day I'm pretty sure people are asking about it. So keeping the series populated with a lot of newbies coming through, and they obviously see what they see out there. They see beautiful racing action and awesome dulcet tones in the commentary box as well. Speaking of which, look at this. It's been a long time coming. Garth Duffy up the inside there. Brett Smith getting the job done as well in that number 71 on the comeback trail after a an unfortunate sort of start to his race. He was quick in qualifying as well. Qualified off the front row, dropped down to I think 4th or 5th in that opening stanza, and things just went from bad to worse from him as he looped it through the Dunlop chicanes. And now he's still clawing back any sort of points he can. And as you can see, very pacey, Zach O'Reilly's just given poor old Smithy a bath and gapped him out to about 1.5 seconds already.
Yeah, well, look, when you see that sort of pace from the Mustang late. Oh, no! Oh, dead set. Just as we say that, Goodness gracious me, the old pace just came a grips and a proper there for the beer man himself. Unfortunate for Garth Duffy, just gives up that hard-worked P6, 7th, and now he's 8th here, because I'll tell you what, the chef has come through with the afterburners on full 240 degrees fan force style, and he's got that job done. As the chef Duffy was on like Donkey Kong there, he was just showing some pace early on in this qualifying session. Didn't get the job done in the racing department. Still 6 places down off P2 where he started in this one. And he could have been 2 places up, but he just lost it. As we saw, and we commentated cursing, there's got to be a curse count here sometime tonight. And that is 100% one there for the beer man. Mr. Blendline TV himself is in 8th place at the moment. But this is the battle again. It is still on. Ferber and Brooks have absolutely not let go of each other. It does not matter which way you look. It is Porsche versus Porsche, and they are 100% going hammer and tong. You can see the way that they both drive this thing. Jetstar has got the old share market prices up again. Now it's at the back end between Brooksy at the moment. It is 100% racing on like Donkey Kong here. Agathos is trying to get himself back up into this one. The Mustang is looking very, very racy indeed. He's got the pace down the straights, but he hasn't got the cornering ability here. It's a great God. You can see the headlights there, just out of perspection. There is the shadow of that GT3 Mustang. Into the braking zone we go. Just fires it in now. Does Liam Brooks. Oh, bit of oversteer there. That's going to give Agathos half a chance. Agathos saw him and checked himself up there as well.
Yeah,
he got too happy on the accelerator pedal. See you later, alligator. And that is a breathing space there for Brooks that he never thought he actually had. For now, it is a second between the two of them. Agathos saw the chockies light up in front of him, thought he had a candy from a baby stealing sort of style coming his way, and just got too ambitious there on the accelerator pedal and lost a good second and a half there. Now, by the time they come into the braking zone, bit of a breather, between himself and Brooks and Agathos here. With only 3 laps to go, Christopher, in this one. This is incredible stuff.
Bit of a breather for us as well in the commentary box. It's been absolute balls to the wall action all up and down the field, and a few of the usual suspects getting involved every couple of laps. So it's a good time to have a little bit of a break. Oh, goodness me. And we'll get a bit of a crowd participation action. So if you're in the chat and you've got something to say, something to get off your chest, just let us know in the chat and we can talk you through your problems here. It's Sensational Live TV, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll give you any advice that you need on any of your problems in your life. But you've got to get that in the next couple of minutes, because before you know it, there's going to be another battle spicing up, and we're going to have to put your problems to the wayside, because what the real important stuff is out there on track at the moment.
Yeah, well, sensational therapy is what we like to call it.
Sensational therapy, exactly.
And if you've got something out there, it doesn't matter. It could be anything. It could be, problems with your work, you hate your boss, the old partner there is just not giving you the attention you deserve, something like that, anything. Just give us something in the chat there. And David Lawler's come through with absolutely nothing of the sort and gone, go chef.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? If there's any problem in the world at the moment, it is Chef's position, because he is getting hounded at the moment by the beer man, who is coming back through at a rate of knots after his misdemeanor. And I'll tell you what, Cook is under all sorts here at the moment. He's got 48 covers coming his way in Hell's Kitchen, and Gordon Ramsay is just starting to breathe down his ear a little bit. No Marco Pierre White sort of style at the moment, but with 0.8 of a second between himself and the beer man, 7th and 8th could be traded places here within the next 2.5 laps, because it is on like Donkey Kong. Porsche 100% on the grip limitations here of this car. It tries to kill you at every moment. That Mustang behind is gripped and ripped, ready to rock and roll. And I'll tell you, one little look between these two, and it could be all over for the chef man.
Yeah, it could be, but we've seen in the past how good the chef is at the defence. In the defence department. I mean, how many laps did he hold off Dan Smith last week at Sandown? Not only him, but there was an absolute gaggle of cars just lining up behind him for, it would have been about 30 minutes, I swear to God. It was like the whole night he was just holding court there at Sandown. The boys could not get around him. Greg Cook and he showed us exactly how it is done, and I'm hoping he's going to do that again here, because we're in the business end of this race, ladies and gentlemen. It's all come down to this. 2 laps to go, and I think you'll probably find a few little maneuvers there that you might possibly not make in the first half of a distance race like this, a 60-minute affair out there. So I'm hoping to see the full what would you call it? The full spectrum of defense skills in the chef's knife cabinet, and I think we're going to see them on deployment here very shortly. But the Duff man, he's caught up. About 9/10 is the gap, but he hasn't been able to kind of make any more headway after that. I think the chef saw him coming and said, well, you know what, it's time to turn on the afterburners, or the old what do you call it, the stovetop burners, and away we go.
Well, you could have gas. You could have what are those magnetic ones called as well? You know, you could have anything. You could have the old campfire going on with the billy, just sitting over the top of it here for the old chef there as well. Billy,
Matt Munro's turned on the old billy at home as well after his DNF.
100%, 13.5 kilometres and out of this one is Matt Munro. So he is 100% on the 420 train at the moment. But the chef here is not thinking about that at this point in time. Oh, that's a big moment there. Is that who I think it is? That is Liam Brooks. He is off. Gonskis. Ladies and gentlemen, massive, massive implications there. Goodness gracious me, he was absolutely singing for the high heavens, was Liam Brooks. This is how he did it. He's coming into the fast right-hander here. Just get tank slaps and slap! Bang! Absolute huge ramifications. He just pirouettes himself into another Mustang in front. That is an absolute rip snorter of an incident there. Nearly Matt Munro-esque sort of comparison. But boy, oh boy, that is dead set. Look at that slap again. Far out. That would absolutely break your neck if you were dead set in the old GT3 real life stuff. And that is why Liam Brooks is Gonski's out of this one in the pits. That damage is done, one shunted, and see you later. Agathos has come off the track there as well. We've just seen him in there, but he's got a yellow and black flag against his name too. So there's something going on there between these two. Cook has got up to 5th. Duffy is all over him again. He's split that gap in half there. And now it's on Donkey Kong here for the last 2 laps, Christopher. You can see them fighting over tooth and nail here for the racing lines. I'll tell you what, the chef here has got the afterburners on 240k, k's an hour, goodness gracious me. 240 degrees in the old fan-forced oven is coming the chef's way.
Yeah, high heat, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to use an olive oil. You want to use a high smoke point oil in that case. But I tell you what, he's got all the oils available to him here in his work set is Greg Cook. He can defend. And I'll tell you what, the flag that Agathos has, and also Brooke has, is the meatball flag for those at home. That's the colloquially termed. Means that you need to pit to fix your damage on your car. So Agathos has hit the wall somewhere along the way, and the racing stewards have deemed it unsafe to continue. So he will have to come in and serve that pit stop. So he will drop down the order big time as well. Poor old Greek God will go back to that one. Let's see if I can find it. It looks like Brett Smith has had an accident as well. Let's go back through and see what's happened here. He's just clattered across the curbs. They're getting a little bit feisty. Oh, I can see what's going to happen here. Just a little loop-a-roo. Yep. Nose it straight into the wall. That's no good for him. He's lost a couple of positions. He's back out there, though. Look at that. Very quick, smart on the recovery. And he's back out there still in 6th position. Didn't lose a hell of a lot there. Let's go to Archie White. We haven't seen him. And as soon as we cross to him, he's getting the right way on the circuit. Poor old Archie White. We're going to have to show it, son. We're going to have to see what happened here, because we haven't seen Archie White at all. We haven't called his name. He's down there in 16th position, up 6, mind you, and just a little bit too zesty on the loud pedal there, and nosing that into the wall. The Aston Martin has seen better days, but what we want to see is what happened to Darren Justice. If I can find that, I will be absolutely... Here we go, Darren Justice crash. This is the replay, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put Justice in the pit lane. Here he goes. Look at, oh wow, big tank slapper there, and he goes off into the kitty litter. It wasn't Darren Justice, it's Agathos who I'm looking for. It does start with D as well, but Zach will talk while I find that replay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's on like Donkey Kong again here because Duffman and the chef are coming closer and closer. 7/10 of a second with only a lap to go. And this is the replay we were looking for here between Dimitri, the old god of speed, has just filed his way in. He's just single-filed his way through here. He's going to get on the axis. Oh, no, that's what happened to him. He got collected there. Oh, my goodness gracious me. That's what happened to him. He was the one involved. We can't see at night, ladies and gentlemen. We have no idea because the liveries just do not show absolute jack tomfoolery in the grand scheme of things. But the old chef there is still gapping it. He's now 9/10 of a second, 8.5 in fact, between himself and the beer man, who's on the comeback charge. And you never know what happens until that fat lady sings, ladies and gentlemen, and that checkered flag is waved. And speaking of which, the white flag is out. It is 15 out of 15. And our race leader here, Luke Fallon, the smooth criminal, is 100% out there in front by nearly half a minute over Kobe Marshall. Those guys were so close to each other for the opening stanza of this one, and he's just gapped him by an absolute country mile there as Luke Fallon, 28 seconds himself. He'll be confident sprung here because he knows that Dan Smith is no bueno, so to speak, on the old racetrack here tonight. So the pressure is off, and it's just shown how this ability of this man goes right about it, Christopher, in that purple AMG GT3 Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, the Igniter Motorsports team there with a good showing tonight. Luke Fallon, he's gapped him by 27.5 seconds. Wowee, that is a massive overcut there. I think it had something to do with Marshall maybe stuffing up his pit stop as well. I remember the outlap at least was about 16 or 17 seconds slower than Luke Fallon's outlap as well. So something maybe going amiss there for poor old Kobe Marshall, but I'm sure he'll be happy with P2 as well. That's nothing to be sniffed at. So don't worry about him. He'll be back again next week for round 9 of 10. We're getting close to the end, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be close between Fallon and Dan Smith. There is a drop round out there as well, so we won't know the actual points total until next time. But Fallon is celebrating early, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the headlights ablaze and flashing away. Zach O'Reilly, I missed what you said just now.
Oh, it's just the arrogance of this man. He's halfway through the circuit here and he's flashing the lights as if he's about to cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, he's got a while to go, yeah.
He's got a while to go. I wouldn't be doing that so much. But look at this. Duffman here has got the old chockies around the outside. Ooh. Beautiful stuff there. He's got the chef for 4th place as the beer man. Lovely, lovely stuff. This is on the ultimate lap here of this race. This is beautiful racing between the two of them, clean as a whistle. I think the Duffman got a beautiful run there off the first section of the Mulsanne Straight, and that gave him the advantage over the chef. The afterburners are on 100%, but this man here at this stage has absolutely given an absolute rip snorting to every single car on the circuit tonight. 27.5 seconds thereabouts. Just saying, you know, this is how we go racing, boys. He flops the old forearm out on the table at his first date, as Luke Fallon, and just says, that's what I'm in for tonight if you want to be here. But he's just rounding this straight, and he's flashing at every single corner here.
Yeah,
if this was flashing in the real life, he would be in jail by now, the amount of offences he has absolutely committed in that department. But he knows he's got the job done. 27 seconds. He doesn't care about half a second here or there. He just knows exactly how to go racing, Christopher.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a little bit of time until he starts. Or do we? He's about to... No, we've got a little bit of time because Liam Brooks has just chimed in the chat to see what happened to him. He's come a gutser here as well. Poor old Liam Brooks. We saw him up there in the top 3 at some stage in that Jetstar livery. Yeah, that was. We did see that. That was an absolute rip snorter of an accident. But it's Luke Fallon, the man of the moment. He took a week off a couple ago. And I think it was the rainy night that he was like, you know what, I'm going to take that as my drop round. Really smart way to go about it as well. But the headlights are still ablaze for Luke Fallon as he rounds the final couple of turns. Ladies and gentlemen, turn 36, turn 37, and turn 38 up his sleeve for the final time. Your winner tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for Aussie Sim Racing GT3 Championship Round 8 is Luke Fallon. What a drive, what a strategy, and wowee, what entertainment.
Yeah, what entertainment indeed. Cracking stuff there. Just takes the traction control off and says, no, no worries, I'm just going to donut my way. And he's done it by an absolute country mile. It was 27 seconds by the time he crossed the line. But Chef and the Duffman had traded positions again in the meantime too. So it's a Chef who's going to come through in fourth. It is all over by the shouting. Absolutely beautiful stuff there for Kobe Marshall in the background. Crosses the line there. 23.9 seconds is the gap after that one. Ferber into third place.
Beautiful.
He will be stoked about that in the Porsche. Lovely, lovely stuff from the old I reckon, teenage doll department there for him in the Furby land. Chef gets through in fourth place. He's going to cross the line very, very shortly himself. But boy, oh boy, in the fair dinkum department, that is an absolute destroyation from Luke Fallon. Loved every moment of that one. Knows how to go racing. Gets the old Tijuana sent to him by the Chef man. Duffy comes through across the line for fifth place. And Smith in sixth. Had to settle for that one.
Yeah, that was an absolute cracking round there. See, just doing donuts on the start-finish line can be dangerous there as well. A lot of folks running, high Newton meters in the old wheelbase department as well, so you never know. You cop a little bit of a whack there from someone going through. You might do yourself a little bit of an injury there. But the winner is Luke Fallon tonight. Kobe Marshall. Let's get the results up. They're not going to come up for quite some time because how long this circuit is. But we are joined by our top three in the chat here. So Zach O'Reilly, take us away with some questions.
Well, I'll tell you what there, that was beautiful stuff. I'm going to change my input here really quickly, boys. Give me 1 second.
Too.
There we go. We are back on. Luke Fallon, just an absolute masterclass tonight. Half a minute. Am I there?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
Oh, good. Half a minute, Lucas, and that was an absolute destroyation tonight over Kobe Marshall. Had it all to fight for there early on in the race. How does that feel to just command yourself over a beautiful, beautiful pit strategy style to take the win?
It does feel amazing, bro. Definitely at a track like LeMANS, it feels very earned. And at the start there, I was getting a lot of pressure from Kobe in the Ferrari there. He had a lot of straight line speed, and I just held my own, and obviously was switching back a lot. I got to watch the stream back because I bet that was an absolute banger to watch.
Yeah, mate, it was 100%. We were absolutely cheering for both of you. You were trading places left, right, and centre between yourself and the old Marshall Motorsports man in Kobe. Beautiful stuff by you as well tonight, my dear friend. That was cracking stuff. Was it the outlap that got you a long, long way off Luke Fallon in front of you, or was it just a dead set strategy masterclass there from the man in front of you?
In front of me?
No, Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's got himself
He's got himself muted. I don't want to say quickly, sneaky, he's left. Sneaky double podium for Igniter Motorsport from between me and Ryan. So pleasure for us to be on the podium after all of our hours grinding away in voice chats together. We finally managed to get a sneaky 1-3 for the Igniter team.
There you go. Shout outs to the Igniter Motorsport family out there running different cars as well. So there are there any setup tips, or is it all just every man for himself out there, especially if you're running two different cars?
Yeah, bro, for sure. We're always sharing our tips around in our team.
Mm-hmm.
Always getting each other the best setups that we can. But I'll let Ryan talk to you more about the Porsche tonight because it was very, very sketchy to get a handle.
That was my question leading into the next part. We have seen time and time again the Porsche being a handful through a number of circuits. This one being one of them. But it looks like you and who else was it? The Liam Brooks in the Bogan-mobile having absolute brilliant battles up and down the that race. So how did the car feel to you in the end, and how much fun was it?
Yeah, that race is pretty cool. After Daytona, when I was obviously lap 1, I went straight into the wall from P1 and P2. No. I wanted to just keep it on the road, so that's what I was basically doing. The Porsche curves are horrible, but that's just the way. Yeah, with Liam Brooks, the racing was great, mate, on the Mulsanne straight. That was pretty close and a bit of door banging, but unfortunately he went off somewhere. I didn't see the replay, but yeah, at least I somehow managed to keep it on the track. So yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, it was bloody brilliant to watch, mate. I really, really enjoyed that stanza between you two. He came off at a rate of knots. I'll give you the hot tip. That was something to behold there. It was incredible. I think he came down the Indianapolis straight and just got checked up into that right to left hander and just pirouetted himself and straight into the barrier.
Oh, that was a big off. Yeah, that
was huge. It was massive. But that's what spelled an end to his little stanza between you. But that Porsche, we were given some inside information from your teammate there that it was absolute death at the end of a stint on the tyres. How was it for you? Was it exactly that, or was it something to behold there in the old car control department?
Yeah, it was a bit dodgy, especially in qualifying. But at the end of the stint, through the Porsche curves, you just got to lift and hold it in fourth gear or fifth gear. Just use the force feedback. But no, it was good fun trying to challenge the car and stay on the road. Yeah.
Yeah, we thought the guys in the Mustangs might have been the ones to beat tonight with all that added horsepower and straight line speed. But I'll tell you what, I guess the Mercedes is kind of in that camp. But it's a win really for the rear engine vehicles with the Ferrari and Porsche in P2 and 3. Anyone that wants to take that as a question or a statement or whatever.
For sure it was. Yeah. The Merc definitely out of corners as well. The Merc gets very, very sketchy. But I think seeing as it has to, on all fixed setups, it has to run literally like 8 TC, where all the other fixed setups seem to run 3 TC. It has a lot of corner exit power, which is a bit to worry about. But I didn't find much struggles with it tonight. It felt to be pretty planted out a few of the corners. So it seemed Le Mans didn't really give me challenges with that aspect.
No, man, it looked, honestly, the body language of your car looked like you were able to absolutely chuck it around and basically you had it on a string there. It was something to behold. It was a sight to see, to be honest. You could see it from how it was handling on screen, that you were just in control of it the whole time, but right on the edge of the group limits. So congratulations to you, mate. It was an absolutely cracking drive, 23.88. The official.
Thank you very much.
The
Thank
official
you very much.
Gap there to Kobe Marshall, who apparently is having PC troubles there. What a good time to have a PC trouble, though, to be fair, Zach, right at the end of the race.
Dead set, an absolute misère from him.
Yeah.
In terms of the old PC department, but. Yeah. He knows how well he did. I'm sure he'll put it up on his own YouTube channel there as well.
I think he just didn't want to talk to us.
Yeah, no. I would expect nothing less from the big man. He knew he was in there and just had a bit of a mare there on the opening lap of his cold tyres. I would say that made the difference between himself and Luke Fallon, who took out the win. These are your results on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Fallon, Marshall, Cook get P1, 2, and 3. Duffy, Smith, Cairns in P4, 5, and 6. Agathos, Rogers, Bell, and Budge around at the top 10 with the Wizard. Georgeson, British Pig, Archie Black there in 14th place. Ferber, who is right up there, gets 15th position.
He's in the chat right now. He's listed as P3, but in the results here, he's got him as 15th. So
Furby?
Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
What happened?
You're
in 15th, mate.
It would be because over the line we were doing some donuts, so he would have got trouble in the iRacing department for getting too many incident points. But he does get gifted the P3 back after. They will fix that one up.
Yep, sweet. Okay, there we go. Just
I think it was like it was a Daniel Smith moment as well.
Yeah, from Spa.
I think I think it's similar to that. But
there we go.
I crossed the line third, so hopefully it's all good.
iRacing automatic stewarding, doing the Lord's work, whether it's warranted or not. But away you go, Zacho. Let's finish this up and wrap up the stream.
Let's wrap it up. Justice Brooks and DeBetta get 18th place in that race. There was a few casualties in that one, ladies and gentlemen. They're the final finishes out of all of them. Geez Louise in the fair dinkum department. It was all on like Donkey Kong there at the end of it. But Luke Fallon gets P1 by a country mile That is round 8 out of 10 done, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 2 more to go in this series. Is Dan Smith going to be back for the final 2 rounds over in Japan at the moment? Dan in Japan, so to speak.
Yeah.
We will find out in the Aussie Sim Racing Championship. But it is all over for us here at Sensational TV tonight. We will be back right now. In fact, if you want to cross over to Far Gone Racing's GT4 Challenge, Lindsay Muddle and Peter Pumpkin will be right there to call all the action for that. We'll be back as well tomorrow night for the Wednesday Cup as well in the Hockenheim circuit in the TVR's Speed 6s. Don't you worry about that. There'll be action left, right and centre. But for now, it's goodbye for everyone. Cracking to have you all with us. Thank you to Marshall Motorsports, Georgeson, Marshall in David, the senior of the Marshall Motorsports in there. Aussie Ghost involved. Brendan Haxter was in there as well. Luke Fallon chimed into the chat. JP Racing as well in the chat. Our subscribers, our naming rights sponsors, SDT, Speed Nation, ARD Importing, Bilco Pack. Massive thank you to you guys, our Patreon supporters as well. Always remember, you guys keep us going here and keep it maintained for the broadcasting to get better and better as it goes on. But for now, it is goodbye from the magnificent Christopher Michael Munro himself. A pleasure to be with you here tonight, Christopher.
Ta-ta.
Thank you very much, Lee.
And farewell.
I've been Zach O'Reilly. Farewell indeed. I've been Zach O'Reilly. Guess what? You're not. It's been a sensational TV production here tonight, proprietary limited, so to speak. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do here in the commentary box. Keep it flat out.
Sensational TV YouTube channel. Don't fucking miss it.